Achievement Test 1. Listening exercises 2 and 3. Listen to 6 people talking about the meaning and origin of their names. 1. June.
I have to say mine is hardly original, and I'm disappointed my parents couldn't have come up with something a bit better, although I admit I'm glad I wasn't born in February. It was one thing to call me after the month I was born in, but I didn't fare any better with my middle name either. I have to say I actively hate it. So, there you go. June Brenda. And woe betide anyone daring enough to call me Bren. I used to have an aunt who did that when I was young, and since then it's guaranteed to get my hackles up.
2. Florence.
I suppose I do feel a connection with my first name and what it means for a number of reasons. My parents named me Florence because that's where they met, in Italy. I do think it suits me down to the ground, though, in terms of related characteristics. It actually means prosperous and flourishing, which, given my desire to always push myself and develop as a person, is pretty apt. I'd definitely say that the prosperous part relates more to knowledge than material wealth, though. I'm not at all materialistic, and I'm more people-focused, a bit like the famous Florence, Florence Nightingale.
3. Baldo.
Yes, names are very important, but sometimes people from other cultures misunderstand what they mean. I've actually, as an adult, found mine quite embarrassing. What is it? Oh, Baldo. But the thing is, in Italian, this actually means bold or brave. It's a great name. It's really powerful. But now I'm getting on in years and I'm losing my hair a bit. Well, you can imagine that some people in English-speaking countries think my name's a nickname for hair loss. I used to feel quite embarrassed, sometimes even annoyed at that misunderstanding, but now I don't really get bothered about it. I guess that also comes with age, a certain acceptance of things.
4. Melanie.
Have I ever looked into what my name means? Oh, yes. It's really cool, actually. Did you know that Melanie originates from Greek and means black? Apparently, she was a brown-haired Roman saint who donated all her money to charity way back in the 5th century. A French friend of mine who loves all things historical tells me that it was a very popular name in France throughout the Middle Ages, and it's from there that it first came into use in England. Then later on it died out for a while. My parents themselves said they actually named me after their favourite character in Gone with the Wind, and I have to admit, I still haven't seen the film. Maybe it's time I did.
5. Alexander.
My name? You mean my first one or my last one? Or both? Here's the thing. I actually have the same first and last name, which can make things easier, I guess, depending on how you look at it. It certainly caused a lot of hilarity at school, but luckily I have a different middle name. My full name? Alexander William Alexander, although most people just call me Alex. I always thought the name Alexander came from Russia or Greece, somewhere like that, but it seems to have lots of different forms in various countries when it comes to the first name. I found out the other day that it's actually the Latin form of the Greek name Alexandros, which means to defend or help. I think it's kind of weird, really, as I actually work as an advocate for the Crown Prosecution Service.
6. Junichi.
Well, I'm not sure I believe that people's characters match their name. Take mine, for instance. My first name is Junichi, and in Japan, that means obedient. But I readily admit that I've got quite a rebellious streak in me, and always find myself pushing against authority. I've never followed tradition either, which is probably why I moved to the US 20 years ago. So, really, I'm sure my personality doesn't match my name. Perhaps it was simply wishful thinking on my parents' part.